Hi everyone, this is Mr. Cole and welcome to the second video of Chapter 9 Ratio and Rate where I'll be studying about rate. So in this video, we'll be learning about how to express rate as one quantity per unit of another quantity and how we can use rates to find unknowns in questions. Okay, so rate is a way to compare how one quantity change with another quantity. So let's look at a common example of speed. When we talk about speed, you normally say how many kilometers per hour, right? But what does it truly mean? Okay, so if we will break down this rate, for every 1 hour traveled by maybe a car, it will have traveled 120 kilometers. If we extend out the idea, in 2 hours, it will then have traveled 240 kilometers. And in 3 hours, you have traveled 360 kilometers. Correct? That's the idea of rate, right? Per hour, 120 kilometers can stack up. Now, do you realize that this idea actually is similar to the idea of ratio, where for one side, one part, if you multiply by 2, the same can be done for the other side. Okay, so actually ratio and rate share very similar properties, but they are not the same because in ratio, we talk about two quantities of the same type. However, in the case for rate, we're actually talking about two different types of quantity. In the left side, we have time. On the right side, we have distance. Okay, there are other kinds of rate as well. For example, cost of apples. If 3 pieces cost $5, then maybe we can talk about 9 pieces. It actually can cost $15. Okay, assuming of course there's no bulk discount. Let's say typing rate. All right, let's say 1 minute I can type 180 words. All right, what about 1 second? What do I do? Okay, I simply divide 60 on both sides and I can type 3 words per second. Okay, this will be the rate at which you type. Is that clear so far? Good. Alright, so now let's look at some questions. Okay, Li Ting can type at a rate of 720 words in 9 minutes, and Vani can type 828 words in 18 minutes. Who is the faster typer? So basically, we are comparing rates. And what particular rate we are comparing is the number of words in 1 minute. Alright, or what we call number of words per minute. Okay, so let's look at Li Ting rate. Alright, Li Ting rate is 720 words in 9 minutes. So let's calculate per minute. Alright, so if it's 720 words per, alright, per 9 minute, then we simply divide by 9, we will just get 80 words per 1 minute. Okay, in the case for Vani, right, she can type 828 words per 18 minutes. Okay, then we will just divide the number of words by 18 and we should get 46 words per minute, per 1 minute, right, to be more exact. So in this case, the clear winner would then be Li Ting with a rate of 80 words per minute. Is that clear? Okay, let's look at another question. This question is a bit more difficult, right? So a supermarket sells 2 packs of rice. We have pack A. Alright, pack A weighs 2.5 kilograms but costs $8.40. Now, pack B is more expensive and heavier cost, of course. So we have 4 kg but costs $12.80. Which pack gives better value for money? This is a typical problem we face when we're trying to buy things in the supermarket. Value for money. Now, how do we calculate value for money? There are no one correct way, all right? Maybe one way to look at it is the more mass per unit cost, correct? So we want to have more mass per unit cost. Or some of you may also look at it as the lesser cost per unit mass. Okay, either one works in the context of this question, but maybe you just choose one for this question. All right, let's say we choose the more mass per unit cost. So for every $1, how much rice can I buy for each of the pack? Okay, so let's look at pack A first. Okay, so pack A rate would then be 2.5 kg divided by $8.40. Okay, so 2.5 divided by 8.4. What I get is 0.297 6 kg per unit cost. All right, per $1. Right, I can round off to 3SF, 0.298 kg per $1. And then for the right side, all right, pack B rate. Okay, what I'll do is I take 4 kg divided by 12.80, which gives us 0.3125 kg per $1, and in this case is the exact answer. All right, so this is 3SF. Okay, so when we compare these two values, what we notice is that on the right side, I can get more mass of rice for the same $1. Whereas on the left side for pack A, I get lesser mass of rice for the same $1. Alright, so in this case, answer would actually be pack B. Alright, now of course if you want, you can also use the cost per unit mass, where you take the opposite. So instead of 2.5 divided by 8.4, we take 8.4 divided by 2.5, and to find the amount of mass of rice you can get, amount of dollar for each kg of rice. All right, both works as well. However, depends on what you want to compare to. Okay, as long as you get the same answer, pack B, it should be fine. Okay, let's look at this. 900 gram tin of chocolate powder drink costs $12.50, and 1.45 kg tin of the same brand costs $17.90. Okay, let's just write there tin A. All right, 900 grams costs $12.50, and tin B. All right, we have 1.45 kilogram and costs 17.9. Now, same thing, they ask for better value of money. In this case, let's try the other method. All right, instead of in the previous case we did mass per unit cost, let's try cost per unit mass. All right, cost per unit mass. All right. Okay, let's look at tin A first. So tin A rate, all right, right now is $12.50 per 900 grams. Okay, let's try to find the cost per 100 grams. Okay, so for 100 grams, what we're going to do is we take $12.50, we divide it by 9. All right, this would then be the total cost per 100 grams. So we divide by 9, and then what we are left with is okay, let me just round off to 3SF. $1.39 per 100 grams. This is 3SF. All right, now let's look at tin B's rate. Tin B rate, we're going to take 17.90 per 145 kg. Now in this case, we should be comparing to the same units of grams. So we write it as per 1450 grams. And because we want to compare it to the same 100 grams, we will then divide this by 114.5. Alright, to get 100 grams. Okay, so 17.9 divided by 14.5, and that will give us a cost of $1.23 per 100 grams to 3SF. So when we compare the rate of both cans, alright, what you notice is that for the left side, tin A costs higher for every 100 grams. Is that value for money? Doesn't sound like it, right? So on the contrary, actually, it is tin B that is more value for money because it has a lower cost per 100 grams, right? Means it costs lesser for every 100 grams of this chocolate drink powder. Okay, so for both question 2 and 3, I have demonstrated that you can use either rates to compare. Either you compare the mass per unit cost, in this case kg per dollar, or we actually can compare the cost per unit mass per 100 grams. Just that for the previous one, we have to take the higher amount, alright, which is pack B, and for the in the question 3 case, we have to take the lower amount, which is tin B. Alright, I hope that clarifies everyone. So here answer is tin B. Okay. Now next thing we have learned about is average rate. So a printing shop charge a fixed rate of for color printing. A student pays $4.80 for 60 pages. Calculate how much she has to pay for 95 pages. Okay, so we can write it as 60. Oh, sorry, let me use a black pen. 60 pages cost a total of $4.80. How much does one page cost? Okay, so you just take $4.80 divided by 60, you get 0.08, just 8 cents, and 95 page would just multiply by 95, and that will give us $7.60. Okay, divide 60, then multiply by 95. Okay, good. So answer is just $7.60. Okay, so for this question, take note that your final answer should leave in 2 decimal place. If you leave at $7.60, this will be wrong as because we don't write numbers in 1 decimal place. Always 2 decimal place, or if it's a whole number, then you can just stop it at a whole number. Alright? Okay, question 5. On another occasion, the same printing banner prints banner using ink, uses 18 liters of ink to print 240 banners. How many banners can be printed using 30 liters of ink? Okay, similar concept. Alright, we know that 18 liters of ink can print 240 banners. Okay, 1 liter of ink is just 240 divided by 18, which gives us 13 1/3 banner. Alright, and then 30 liters of ink would then be 13 1/3 multiplied by 30, and that will give us 400 banners. Okay, good. Now in part 2, if the ink costs $6.20 per liter, how much does it cost to print 500 banners? Now we have to flip the ratio. Okay, so how are we going to flip the ratio? Okay, so we know that 240 banners, alright, cost 18 liters of ink. What about 1 banner, right? one banner is 18 divided by 240. Alright, which gives us 0.075 liters. So what we are doing in this case is you are flipping the quantity that you want to focus on. So instead of making ink the subject of your ratio, now you have to make banner the subject of your ratio. Right, oh sorry, of your rate. So then we have to calculate 500 banners. Right, so 500 banners is just 500 multiplied by 0.075, which gives us 37.5 liters of ink. Right, and then the total cost would then be to take 37.5 and we multiply it by $6.20 per liter, which gives us a total value of 232.50. Is that okay, everyone? Okay, I hope you get a better idea now. Okay. Okay, so that's the end for part 2 of our video, and watch our next video for the simple interest, higher purchase income tax, which is quite a complicated video. Alright, then see you in the next one.